No trades on the account though, because just again, like I told you guys, I don't have to trade. So the 1111 account, this is how it remains right now. We haven't taken any trades on it. And yeah, we're going smooth. Haven't taken any trades on my personal account. So no trades on the account because I missed the trade. Because look at this, literally look at my alarm. Alarm hit at 2 o'clock in the morning, 91.34. Look where the ray is, 91.34 at 2 in the morning. Literally my entry perfectly, but I was sleeping at 2 in the morning. Last week we took no trades on the 1111 account because I simply, wasn't in front of the markets. The shit show happened. They broke into my house, so I wasn't like fully. Even though in the social media I'm acting like it didn't affect me. It did affect me a little bit, but I've been working on some things. I've been working on some really big things. If you do look at this trade right here, this is the AUD CAD trade that I've been predicting. Didn't enter it. I've seen a bunch of you guys that did catch it. I just personally, I'm not gonna say I'm scared because obviously I haven't taken a trade in a long time, but I'm almost being extremely selective because I don't want my first trade back into the market in almost a month to be a loss. I want it to be a win, so I'm being very selective on the trade that I take. Trade idea one, you guys can't say I didn't tell you. Trade idea two, this might look like last week's, but it's not. Te amo, Alex. Another week without taking one single trade. Literally 23 days in the market, watching it every single day and not taking one single trade. That's what it takes to be consistently profitable. Knowing when to be in the market and knowing when to not be in the market. Sometimes in order for you to make money in the markets, it's better to simply do nothing because you're saving money for when the good weeks in the markets come. 23 days without taking one single trade. 31 days without taking one single trade. You're probably wondering why. That's exactly what this video is for. The last time that I took one single trade in the market was on November 15, 2023. And that trade earned me $82,000 in 2 single days on my personal account. And that same trade I took on the 1111 challenge where I made $2,300, which was my first trade on the 1111 challenge. And after that huge $82,000 day, guess what happened next? Nothing. Nothing for 31 whole entire days, where it was my longest streak without taking one single trade. Now you may be asking, is it because the strategy doesn't work? Was the strategy not giving me opportunities? And actually it's the total complete opposite. I don't know if you guys saw, but on my Instagram and Telegram, I was sending trade ideas on a daily basis. And not only were they hitting, but you guys were catching them. Thousands of you guys tagging me every single day, capitalizing off of the trade ideas that I was putting out there on social media. But I personally, myself, simply wasn't entering those trades. Now you may be asking why? If I was predicting the markets, why wasn't I entering the trades? And the real reason is because the last month of my life has probably been the craziest month I have ever experienced, ever. And it all started with the trip to the most dangerous favela in Brazil. I went with Steve Will Do It in Steiny with the purpose to give back to a favela and help the community, give them money, give them resources that they need. And things took a turn. As we were riding through the mountains in a scooter with my driver having grenades around his belt, holding a machine gun and riding a scooter at the same time, things got a little bit crazy as Steve was giving away money and giving away goods. We got cramped up in a corner and over 200 Brazilians came to us to pretty much take, obviously, the goods that we were giving back, but the necessity of them was just making them super aggressive. And the next day, as we were gonna go give back to another community, we got pranked by some Brazilian thugs that we had absolutely no idea what was happening, where they threw us against the ground, put machine guns to our head. My phone is actually still broken from when they slammed me against the ground. And that same day that we were going to leave, the word was spreading around that we were giving away money to the favelas and to the community, and other bad favelas that were against the other ones were out in the look for us. Luckily, we caught a plane and we got out of there fast. But that was the most terrifying experience that I could ever experience. Now, I was still predicting the trades, but I was making sure I was staying alive throughout the day. So my priority was staying alive and not executing a trade. Even though I was still predicting the trades before I left the hotel, I was simply not executing them because the majority of these favelas don't have service in order to plug in a trade. And if that wasn't enough, when I landed in Miami after about a 7-8 hour flight, I had a quick layover flight to then go to Vegas and gamble with Dana White. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go home, shower, get some new clothes, and then get on this new flight straight to Vegas. And as soon as I walk in through my front door, I noticed that a lot of my furniture is on the floor. And I don't remember seeing the furniture on the floor. I don't remember seeing some cabinets open. I was super confused on what was going on. And then when I walked towards the back of my house, I noticed that I have a broken window and the back door is open. And then there I realized that they had broken into my house and they had robbed my house. I, went upstairs. They had completely went through my whole entire office. They took my Rolexes, they took my jewelry, they took some cash that I had in the safe. But luckily, they didn't take any other big possessions. They didn't take the titles to my cars. They didn't take my 2 brand new cars that I had just bought in, which is my Rolls-Royce Cullinan or my Lamborghini SV. They didn't take my drift car. They didn't take any of my guns. They didn't take my computers. They more took some privacy that I had, which was my home. It's the place where I laid my head against my pillow and place where I like to call my personal space. And it was completely invaded by some thieves that had broken into my house and taken everything that was to value of them. But I had to put on a poker face and pretend like that didn't affect me because I was going to go gamble with Dana White and Steve would do it the next day. So I completely put that aside, that happened to me, and I go to Vegas where Steve would do it. And I'm gambling there with Steve, I'm gambling with Dana, and Steve, in front of my eyes, turned $10,000 into $500,000.
We just won Dana 500 grand.
Because Dana White was down $500,000 from a bad gambling night, and he has really good relationship with Red Rock Casino, so he could, pay off those markers whenever he wants. But Steve is such a good guy, and he's somebody that will give back no matter what. And he loves Dana so much, and they do a lot for each other, that he deposited $10,000 and ran it up to $500,000, where then he paid off Dana White's $500,000 debt. Now, Dana White doesn't need $500,000. That's pennies to the man. But it's more of the act that Steve will do that to show his gratitude and his appreciation to Dana White. And experimenting and being there for that whole entire live stream, it's very hard to kind of catch a trade when your time zones are all messed up. You just got robbed, and then you almost got killed in the favela. So it's an accumulation of stuff that I personally can't execute a trade, but I can still predict the markets because I'm seeing the same patterns time and time again. So I can still send the trades out there, but the execution part, I just didn't feel comfortable putting money at risk at that very moment. And if that wasn't enough, I decided to challenge myself to do something new. And it's put out there the real Alex, the new content of who Alex really is. And for that requires the wisdom of Alex, the facts, the masculinity, the truth of who I was to get to the point where I am today, and everything that happens behind the scenes of a quick trading video that you guys see on Instagram. And that's where I challenge myself to come out with a new YouTube channel, which is going to be called Alex Was Here. And this channel is going to consist of the real life of what Alex does. Everything behind the scenes, no filter, everything completely unscripted, and you guys can live what I live through a lens and see the reality of what it is to be me. I think the social media presence that I have gotten right now deserves that, because everything is not what it seems. And I feel it's good so you guys see all the work and all the time that gets put behind these videos and gets put behind the lifestyle to even just make it seem normal to you guys. So this is gonna be on my second YouTube channel, where everything that I just told you about, I was lucky enough to have my film crew with me, where they documented every single second of it. And all of that is going to be posted on my second YouTube channel, which is going to be called Alex Was Here. And as I get back to Miami to film all this new content, I didn't feel at home in my other home. I literally felt violated. My privacy, my home, they had broken into and they had taken my stuff. So I took action very fast, and I decided to move into this brand new house that I just moved into now. And this is now probably the biggest and craziest house I have ever been or stepped foot inside of. And this is now my new home. And a house tour of this house is going to be on that second channel as well. So make sure you guys check it out, because by the time this video is uploaded, that second YouTube channel is already up with all of these videos. And if that wasn't a lot, which it's a lot. It's a lot to do in 31 days. And on top of that, keep the community going, do the weekly calls with my students. I have something very big cooking. I've been cooking up something very big that nobody's ever done before. And you guys are gonna see it very soon. But that as well is going to be on the second channel, and you guys are gonna be able to see what it really takes behind all of this stuff that I'm doing. It excites me. You guys can see the reality of who Alex is. That's why Alex Was Here is gonna be the name of the second YouTube channel. And just to wrap things up, in the last 30 days of my life, I got bit by a snake. I don't know if you guys can see it right here, but in one of Steve's Will Do It streams, Steve pretty much bet me that I wouldn't let the viper bite me, and it did. Luckily, it did nothing, but going back and forth from Vegas, gambling, Dana White again, where he was literally mentoring me how to gamble. Now, I know a little bit about gambling, I know blackjack, I know baccarat, but he was literally telling me what to bet, how to split, and how to double down on, which is a great experience, but that went on for hours. Plus the 3-hour different time zone of Vegas completely messed up my focus that week for trading. So every single week has been something new, and it's been nonstop for 31 days. And everything that I have just mentioned to you guys, absolutely everything that I've just mentioned has been documented. It's been a perfect timing. It's filmed the good, it's filmed the bad, but it's gonna be shown to you guys. Because this has been one of the most hectic and busiest months, I don't think of the year, I think of my life, to be completely honest. I don't even know how I held up. And to add, like if this wasn't enough, I had just came out of a dark mode right before I had entered this whole entire crazy month, where I had turned into pretty much a new person after I blew the $300,000, where I turned $100 to 300, which was my goal to turn it into $1 million, where I had set a new goal where if I'm not in the mindset to trade, and if I'm not in the right position to execute a trade, I simply won't do it. And you know what? I put that into effect to perfection during these last 31 days. And it could have not worked perfectly. I could have not been more real to myself and kept the word more than what I have currently done. So although I analyze the markets, I predict the moves time and time again, there's hundreds of messages that I get on a daily basis. There's tens, if not 20, 30 free trade ideas in the free telegrams that I have below. Literally, I stuck to my word by just simply focusing on myself when I was ready to take a trade when the market was right. Sometimes the market was right, but I wasn't ready. Sometimes I was ready, but the market wasn't ready. If we simply both don't align, I simply don't take a trade. And by having this mindset and sticking to my word, this is what led me to not taking a trade for 31 days. But all of this has ended on Friday, December 15th. On this day, two very important things have happened. The first one is we had broken the streak of no trades, and coincidentally enough, it was pretty much the first day out of the whole entire 31 days where I was alone in my home, which is great because I got to spend time with myself. And then the second thing is that not only did we just break out of the no trading streak, but it was an amazing win that was executed on Euro AUD, where I positioned a 75 lot trade on a sell, where I ended up risking about anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 on the trade, and it had played out extremely well, where I ended up making $75,000 in one single session. And obviously the same trade that I took on my personal account that led me to make $75,000, I took it on the 11/11 challenge, where I had finally taken the second trade on it, because I hadn't taken a trade since I had originally started it on 11/11. So I was about 33 days without taking a trade on the 11/11 challenge after my first win. This is the challenge that I started with $1,111, and I have only taken one trade prior to the one that I took on Friday. Currently right now, the account is sitting on $6,334. This is literally on 2 trades in over 31 days on that account. And the objective of this account is to literally take it as high as I possibly can. My goal is to scale it to whatever the market can let me to do it. That's a mistake that I did with the 100 to the mil challenge, which was setting a hard target. Now with this 11/11 challenge, I'm just letting time and the market give me the opportunity, and if I happen to align with it, I take the trade and I scale it to as high as I possibly can. And on top of that, probably more importantly to me, because the money that I make on the challenge is cool, but the impact that I have on you guys is not as important to me, because I won't take one trade on the 11/11 account that I don't send out to you guys first. I sent out you guys the trade idea first. After then, I take execution on it. And seeing you guys learn from my strategy execute it and make profits by far is way more exciting than you guys can ever imagine. Yes, numbers on a screen is cool, but seeing one of you guys out there having a job and making more money from trading than your actual job, that is the real word of success to me. I feel like my job has been complete. And by the time you guys are seeing this video, all of the videos of what has happened in the last 31 days are already live on YouTube. So search up Alex Was Here, which is my second YouTube channel, where you guys are going to literally see what everything that I just said was in real time. So as of right now, the 11-11 challenge has completely come back to life. I'm gonna try and turn these $1,100 with $11 all the way up to pretty much infinity, to the highest that I possibly can. 31 days put to sleep. Now we're bringing it back to life so you guys are able to now catch the trades with me, and I'm able to scale this account to as high as I possibly can. I have a number in mind, but I can't put it out there because I'm just gonna keep focusing and staying true to the trades. And by the time you guys are seeing this video, everything that I have just explained on what has happened to me in the last 31 days, it's all already live on YouTube. So go search up the second YouTube channel, which is Alex Was Here, so you're able to see what I'm actually expressing to you guys, because absolutely everything was documented so it can be put out there for you guys. And with that being said, if you wanna know what set and forget is, and how thousands of the traders are catching the trades with me, catching the trades even without me, click the link in the description below. I have a video that explains to you what set and forget is. It is what has changed traders' lives completely, where it lets them make anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week as a beginner set and forget trader. This is something that has not only worked for people that have a full-time job, but people can use it to have also a side income from trading. So if you want to know what set and forget is and if it even makes sense for you, just click the link in the description below. It's a completely free video that will explain to you what it is and how I came up with it and how it lets me make numbers like these and like these every single day. So I appreciate you guys watching this video all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys either in the next video here or on my second channel. See you guys.